Hello and welcome to this latest installment of Nimdzi's live event series. I'm your host, Tucker Johnson, and today we're talking about the latest flagship research from Nimdzi Insights, our annual language technology radar report. If you haven't already done so, make sure that you are subscribed to or following Nimdzi Insights. We're coming to you live today on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. No, not Instagram, but yes, definitely LinkedIn, where most people join us. This is, as I mentioned, this is part of the Nimdzi live event series. In this series, we like to feature conversations with experts, both Nimdzi experts, where we have subject matter experts on pretty much all aspects of localization, internationalization, globalization, culturalization, all that fun stuff, as well as industry experts outside of Nimdzi. So if you have any topics or guests that you'd like to see featured on our live expert series, make sure that you're reaching out to us and letting us know. As I mentioned, today we're talking about the flagship research project that we publish this every year, the 2025 Language Technology Radar. The radar maps out the fast evolving landscape of language technology, highlighting the tools, categories, and trends that are shaping the industry right now. I'm joined by the author of this year's report, Yulia Akhulkova, who will share the biggest insights, surprises, and takeaways from the research. Yulia, welcome to the series.
Thank you.
It's good to have you. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do at Nimdzi? You're an old school Nimdzi character. You've been here since I've been here, basically.
I'll take it as a compliment. Yes, I've been with Nimdzi since 2018. I participate in various research projects, be it for public availability or for a particular client. And these projects are usually around language technology, from translation management systems, selection or migration from one to another, to even implementing some AI techniques or methods in the current localization processes at an organization. But my favorite project at Nimdzi is exactly what we're going to talk about today. And previously it was the Nimdzi Language Technology Atlas, a snapshot with pictures, which some people used to hang on the wall,
Right.
and walls, I should say. And since last year, it migrated from a snapshot in time to an online curated catalog of tools. And yeah, I think we can preview it and discuss it.
Yeah, let's preview it right now. But that's an important distinction because it used to be an annual report, and I introduced today as an annual report, but I'm actually wrong to introduce it as an annual report because it used to be every year Nimdzi, via Nimdzi, would come out with this atlas of all of these different language technologies. We'd make posters, we'd give them away at World, people would hang them on their walls. The reality was, though, that the technology landscape is evolving so fast, once a year isn't really that useful anymore. So we created this language technology radar with the help of our friend Alexi here, who's doing all of the technical stuff behind the scenes, so that you get the real-time information. But I don't want to bury the lead here. Let's take a look at the intro that you so generously prepared for us.
Hello. We are looking at the 2025 Nimdzi Language Technology Radar report. And in this short preview, I'm going to show you what we have built this year. You have a very long report. On the left, there is the table of contents, and you can read it if you'd like to see what's happening on the market. But most importantly, we have updated the online catalog, which is associated with this report. And same as before, we have subdivided the tools that we have tracked into 11 categories. How does it work? Let's select some category interesting for you, maybe machine translation. Here we have profiles of these companies. Mind you, this is not a screenshot. These are all actual profiles of these companies. We can open any of them that we'd like. It should open in a separate window. Something new we did this year, we have added the textual description of the company and what they do in terms of language technology development. So whenever a company adds their information to our radar, it is first vetted by us, and then it appears right here in the report, or also in a separate dedicated page, which is accessible via a link, Language Technology Radar, self-explanatory. So this is the actual catalog. Inside the catalog, you can access all those profiles. You can search by company or by the product name they develop, or maybe you want to filter out some particular parts. Maybe you don't want the machine translation engines. You only want to see who provides standalone MTQE solution. Of course, all this information has been collected over some time. And to add the company, if you develop something, you can do it either from here. Here you can register, fill in a short form, and then your data comes to us for verification. When we do verify a profile of a company, a green tick like this appears, profile vetted by Nimdzi. So right from the radar, the catalog, you can access the same report that we have been just looking at. Happy reading, happy browsing. If you develop anything, let us know. But first, please check, maybe we have already edited you. Maybe some colleagues submitted their profile for you already. If you want to edit the previously submitted information, you can either do it from the catalog, if you were the one submitting this info, or if there is the profile for your company and you see something else that needs to be added, or maybe some discrepancies, something incorrect, you have changed the logo, whatever changes you have made over the last year, you can write to me directly. So who am I? I'm the creator of this report, and here is my email. And yeah, thank you for your attention. We look forward to featuring more companies from all over the world in this catalog, and this is an updated and curated database.
Perfect. Excellent intro. Thanks for providing that, Yulia. My just a couple things to take away. This is the information gathering is crowdsourced to a certain extent. So we ask companies who have technology products to submit information, but it's not a crowdsourcing project because Nimdzi is verifying all of the data. So it's not like anyone can go put in anything that they want in there. And that's an important distinction because I remember, and I tell this story all the time, when Renato and I first started Nimdzi, we were having a conversation about like, why do we want to do this? Like what value are we adding to the industry? What need are we addressing? And in my career, I was always frustrated with the lack of unbiased third-party data information about technology programs. 10 years ago, the information that was available about language technology was all from language technology salespeople. And it caused a lot of problems 10 years ago. And I would like to think that now, a decade later, that the industry is better informed in large part due to the work that you've been doing. So thank you very much for that. But why don't you tell me a little bit about, that's my opinion. Who's this report for? What's this report about? What's the overall purpose of the Language Technology Radar?
I was just about telling you the story to continue what you've been saying about vetting the information. So let me just do that and then jump to the purpose.
Please.
Actually, indeed, we do have a lot of attention to this research and associated report for the last couple of years. And sometimes, not often, but sometimes, people who work in the companies that do not actually develop any language technology, but use third-party technologies already represented in the Atlas previously and now Radar. So they try to create profiles in the online catalog and submit their data, just ticking the boxes of which tools they use. And unfortunately, that is not what we're gonna present or publish. For LSPs there, we have another flagship report, very important one, Nimdzi 100. And that is not what the Radar is about. We're not collecting the information on who uses what. We are collecting data on who actually delivers the particular technology that other people can use wherever they work, enterprise localization team or an LSP. And that is leading me to your question about the purpose of this report. I wanted to just maybe agree with you on the previously lacking the databases and large information packs of tools that are out there. I remember a couple of years ago, maybe 7, Konstantin Dranch, our colleague from the industry, was trying to create a list of tools that the LSPs were using back in the day, and for the moment of that work. And he wanted to start with something humble, like 100 tools. That was his goal. He said, I want to have a list of 100 tools. Well, guess what? Now we have over 1,000 tools, 900 and something of them mapped. And this is the continued effort. So indeed, just as you said, the catalog develops and there are new entries actually incoming, and it will continue doing so. The report is what we publish once a year, but the catalog lives its own life. And why we do that? Why all the effort? Who is it for? So I believe that right now it is easier to go to a resource like this to start analyzing this sphere for yourself. And this is just the first maybe step on your way of implementing this or that technology. So not only you have a list, and not only you can browse the technology by type, but also you have the accompanying insights and maybe some ideas, or something that will spark your own ideas, and something that we talk with sometimes brutal honesty. And that is exactly to your comment about trying to be unbiased, because we do not publish these profiles based on someone knocking on our door. It sometimes happens with other resources who collect the databases of tools, like G2, for instance. I believe that many people in our industry have got such emails where a certain TMS provider would state something like this: hey, rate us like 5 stars, give us on G2 these 5 stars, and we will give you a $100 Amazon gift card. So this is what our research is against. And this is exactly why I believe there should be unbiased collections of tools, so that this becomes the first step on a person's journey towards implementing one technology or another, or switching between technologies, or even just, as I said earlier, maybe starting visualizing the future tech stack that they will have at their organization.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, it's the first step, right? It's a way for someone to really get a quick overview of all of the different products that are out there and all of the different categories that are out there. And you mentioned, I think there's 11 different categories. You can filter it. You can filter it not just by the category, but by the needs that you have. Does this have integrated QA functions? Does it have APIs for blah, 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 blah? So it really helps people kind of narrow down and create that short list of technologies that they want to look at further. But talking about the categories, tell me about the categories. Are there any new categories? Are there any categories that are growing faster than others? What are some of the trends that you've noticed there?
Thank you. Sure. So last year, we added the category for large language models. It was, well, it still is a hard task to do, because every day the big tech companies release something new, or not even big tech. Just last week, we heard the news about Tilde company releasing an LLM specifically for our industry and European languages. So we had that, but this year we analyzed what's going on and figured that yet there is not something as big as LLMs last year, so that it could be included as the world's category. Not yet. Still, there are some things happening in our industry that we should definitely talk about. And that's why, instead of a separate category, we devoted a section of the report to them. And those two additional ones that are not featured as the category of an online catalog are AI-powered platforms from leading LSPs, and another very interesting and slightly even more interesting for me personally, the platforms for sign language interpretation. So I don't know, should we talk about any of this in detail, and two new emerging maybe categories that are worthy to talk about?
Well, yeah, let's talk about them. Tell me about them at a high level, because I want to get through a bunch of stuff today. And yeah, we got to talk about the LLMs and the AI and all of that stuff. That's what everyone's talking about right now, with good reason. I'm not being sarcastic about that. It's having an impact on our industry. So just walk us through, what was that like adding these new categories, and what were some of the findings that you had from it?
Yeah, I think I would like to quote the colleague of ours, the expert in all things AI implementation and LLMs on the Nimdzi end, Laszlo Varga, who was very, I think, interested in AI-powered platforms from leading LSPs because of his work on our flagship report, Nimdzi 100, where exactly all the LSP business is being discussed in detail. And it's interesting that for LSPs, these solutions, they are different in their nature because, yes, we say AI-powered platforms, but what exactly do they power? And that's the issue why they have not been aligned into a single category yet, because they are different in their nature. But they are all trying to present LSPs, I think, as the AI-first technology providers, not the language service company, but with a focus on the technology development. These platforms are mostly for them, I think, strategic levers for growth and for client lock-in, of course. And now coming to a quote from Laszlo, which I promised. So he says that the success of leading LSPs AI platforms are reminders that even today's best technology solutions must be surrounded by human experts for production-ready, enterprise-grade language outcomes. Surrounded here is key. Professional preparation, guidance, verification is indispensable before, during, and after machine processing. What this means is that, yeah, there are all new solutions developed, like Aurora AI by Lionbridge or Mosaic by Argus Multilingual. By the way, thanks for the Argus team for providing their information to us about that in detail. Or some consolidations happening on this arena of AI-powered platforms in LSP. Quite recently, TransPerfect acquired Unbabel. And now we can just speculate what will become of it, but some of that speculation we wrote down in the report. Mm-hmm. So that all gives us an idea that this unification of AI-powered services within the LSP market. And this is very interesting to look at. However, important comment now from me, not from Laszlo. Mm-hmm. These LSPs do not rely still solely on their own technology, on these AI-powered platforms. Indeed, this is good development for them in many different ways, but still, for actual production, they still use third-party tools. They partner with TMS providers like Phrase, for instance, or, well, RWS has its own suite of TMS products, and these TMS products still are the backbone of the LSP processes, regardless of this interesting new category of solutions, AI-powered platforms from LSPs, from larger LSPs. So that's an interesting one for me.
So that is an interesting, just kind of go down that rabbit hole a little bit. TMS systems are still the backbone of the industry. The localization programs run on translation management systems, right? Do you foresee, I'm just going to ask you to like put your speculation cap on, 5 years from now, is that still going to be the case? Or are we going to see something new come up? And like a follow-on related question to that would be, what innovations, what R&D, where should TMS companies of today be investing so that they can stay competitive in the future? Where are they already investing, according to your research?
The question about 5 years from now is what the investor companies ask us constantly whenever they contact Nimdzi for services in terms of research or SWOT analysis of this or that TMS provider. They ask this question like, where do you see this TMS in 5 years? Or not the particular TMS, but the market of TMS overall. This is very tricky because everything changes very fast. But even though I'm not a visionary, Sorry, I'm not. You have Renata for that. All right?
I know who I'm talking to here. So
Yeah, I can report on the facts. And the facts are that right now, indeed, all the foundational processes in the TMS remain pretty much intact, and the industry has not moved beyond the TMS label, Translation Management System label. We wrote last year how these systems and the companies who develop them try to evolve and change the concept and talk more not about the TMS per se, but about the multilingual content delivery platform of some sorts. But still, well, the shift has not happened yet fully. And these companies are still perceived as TMS and under the TMS label. So the current situation is that the regular workflows remain intact, or structural foundations remain intact, I should say. And this is because I think these platforms have not yet moved beyond the regular thing, which is segmentation model. And the attempts to embrace LLM native architectures in the TMS sphere are happening, but again, they have not yet totally shifted the way how we work with translation and localization projects. So some developments are happening in this domain. I think I mentioned in the report a couple of companies who are trying to work in another direction and move beyond the segmentation. They still, it's not much, you know. So 5 years from now, what I can say, I think that there will be more providers who will try to move beyond this paradigm, and instead of segment-based translation, develop other initiatives bypassing fuzzy matches, for instance, and producing or providing the other ways, other engines supporting the regular localization workflows. And another thing that I'm constantly being reminded while working on collection of the data for the report is the multimodality. So right now the TMS is around, the TMS concept is around the written, mostly the written text. And we can expect, not even in 5 years, I would say in a couple of years, that all other modalities like voice, images, will be also served in this, maybe not already a TMS in a couple of years, but yeah, the multilingual content delivery platform of some sorts. So let's see what and how it unfolds. But the initiatives that are happening in this domain right now are not very large at scale. Some people are doing something, and again, we wrote about that in the report. I wouldn't name the names for now, so go and check it out.
Yeah, go check out. I mean, the purpose of this live stream is not to give the audience all the information in the report. It's chunky. There's a lot of good stuff in this report, and I would highly encourage people to go read it for themselves. You got to go read it for themselves. Click around in the radar and all that stuff. This is just a teaser for all of that. And it kind of goes back to like, who's this for? And what I like about in research companies, you've seen these research companies, Yulia, the ones that fly in and do a quick market research of the industry, and they list the top TMS companies. There's one just published by a non-Nimdzi research company. This company, it's bigger and makes a lot more money than Nimdzi probably, but they don't know anything about the localization industry. And they come in and they do this list of all of these different technologies and TMS systems. It's not very good, but they make their money by selling it back to the technology companies, right? So let me study you, and then I'm going to sell you the research back to you. What I like about our research here is it's not just useful to the technology. Well, first of all, we're not selling it. You know, we're not charging you $20,000 to access it. It's not just useful to the technology companies, but it's, to me, the primary use case is for client side or LSPs who want to investigate a technology and like, hey, what is out there? What are my available options? Because client side localization directors always have their managers breathing down their neck. I need to do more with less. I need to automate. I need to implement AI. And it's like, oh my gosh, how do we do that? And this provides a first step for them. When evaluating language technologies, because you work with a lot of buyers out there that are looking at TMS systems or other technologies, what's some of the behavior? What are some of the mistakes that you see buyers making when they go start down that journey of evaluating, vetting, and deploying a new
I
technology?
love this question. I love this question because I'm lucky. I have this spectacular opportunity to work alongside other Nimdzi experts, such as, for instance, Roman Sivin at Nimdzi, a senior consultant on our side, who help companies navigate these migrations and these changes. And I think the very common scenario that we face in such projects, be it a TMS selection or maybe AI processes implementation, it is trying to solve with one single technology product all your problems, which is not how usually things work. And normally what we start with is reevaluating the processes that are in that organization. So what I'm trying to say is that language technology change per se is more than a particular product, LangTech product change. And what often looks like a technology problem is actually more of a transformation challenge. And that's where enterprise localization managers or leaders sometimes struggle with, or that's what they struggle with. And that is also a mistake some of them make, because when we look through these RFPs for, again, let's say TMS provider, we see the just lists of maybe features these companies need to provide. And by looking at those features, we can also see that we need to collectively take a step back and start maybe reevaluating the whole process that is behind this potential change of a technology. All of that context to say that the bigger mistake I still see, and actually, I think we did the same mistake with some of the tools we use internally. So I think it's quite common to try to solve.
Yeah, we're not immune to it.
Exactly. Right? Yeah, trying to solve the organizational problem or any other problem with the technological change and technology switch. But one switching between two products, it most likely will not solve it. And there are some other more, deep processes that need to first go before the actual selection of a vendor of a particular language technology. So that's it. And I think that we can also even maybe plug in here an article Roman wrote, which is named "Why New Tools Aren't Enough." I'll send it to you. So that one is public, and I liked it very much because it's based on the many projects of technology change that he and the group and the team at Nimdzi did. So that's that.
Yeah, there's I think we kind of do ourselves it's short sight. We use this term solutions a lot when we talk about technology. TMS. We're not providing a technology; we're providing a solution. And it's true. I like it. I get it. I get the branding. But also when I think it kind of skews our mindset a little bit because this technology is my solution. No, it's part of a solution, right? Not everything can or should be solved by technology, right? So it's just part of the step there. I'll try to pull up that article. I want to plug that article with Roman, but really quickly I'm going to ask you another question so we can get going here. We talked about clients starting their journey. Let's talk about LSPs, right? Language service providers. Now, what do you see? basically, what are the biggest opportunities? What are the biggest threats for language services providers? And I think my main question is for LSPs, does it still make any sense for them at all to develop their own technology because of the robust third-party market out there? Or should they rely upon the market, or should they develop their own technology? When does it make sense? When doesn't it make sense? What are the opportunities? What are the threats for service providers, translation companies?
Depends pretty much on which budget do they have to spare.
Fair.
Because build or buy dilemma is quite unique for every company. And the threat I would like to highlight here is that right now, just as you mentioned in the beginning, everybody, be it a small LSP or a larger LSP or an enterprise localization department, everybody is trying to hop on this train of implementing AI. And there is one particular case that maybe is scary a little bit to me, where companies, or maybe not particular companies, but smaller LSPs usually, because they try to investigate, which is good. But then what happens is over-reliance on AI, okay, on areas or in areas which still pretty much require human subjectivity or human depth. What I mean is that we've seen cases, these are actual use cases, not invented. So, for example, a project manager at an LSP doesn't speak the target language at all, which is fine. You cannot speak all the languages that you work on. And it can be like 15 languages, for instance. And so they say, okay, I will not rely on some linguist to do the LQA. I will just ask my ChatGPT. I will go directly to ChatGPT interface that I have. And even maybe sometimes, like in the old days with Google Translate, not even worrying about the security of all this. And I will ask this chat, like, what does it think about this translation? And I will delegate the LQA to an AI agent, or just very simply not building even any agents, just directly to ChatGPT interface, or Grok or DeepSeek, or whichever tool the manager prefers. And that is quite dangerous. That is the threat to really believe that the output that you get is true and solid. And it is very easy to believe that because it's so well structured. And again, you do not speak the language, so you wouldn't know. But the evaluation provided by AI is looking so good. You send it back directly to the linguist, and well, it can happen then quite often that there is something right in that evaluation, but the majority of it is not. So for instance, I remember when Grok was released, just first day of its public appearance, I ran to it trying to ask whether it knows Armenian, because I'm learning Armenian based in Armenia, and I want to have a conversational experience with the chatbot. And I ask whether Grok knows Armenian, and it replies to me in Korean. So that can happen, but I know that. I know the difference because I work in this industry, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, if I were to evaluate the Armenian text with the help of AI, no, I don't think that I will get the proper evaluation, actually, because of many reasons, underlying reasons. We are not going into that right now, but that is a threat to rely overly on what the AI output is, being in that particular case or any other case, like testing of linguists, or even editing, like the automatic post-editing of your output of the localization project that you are working on.
Yeah. And so the technology is not quite there yet for some use cases. For some use cases, it's quite good. For some other
Yeah.
use cases, it's not there yet. Which kind of leads me into my next question. So we talked about what buyers should be doing, how they're reacting to the changing landscape. We talked about what LSPs are doing to react to the changing landscape. Let's talk about the actual tech companies out there, the language technology providers.
I will be very strict here, okay?
Okay, be strict.
About time. It's about time. So, as was highlighted multiple times, I think today, I did indeed watch a lot of demos while producing this report, and I went to a couple hundreds of websites from different technology providers to see, like, in many cases, the exact same message, that they are super unique and delivering the solution one of a kind.
Everybody's unique.
Thank you very much.
Everybody's the best.
To them, I say thank you very much. You know what? I have like 50 other products, not just like yours, but that are actually delivering very similar value. Not
right.
just as you do it, but this is nothing unique about it. So it's one problem. And another problem, before I get to the actual recommendation, another problem is that sometimes the information available about that or that company is so overwhelming that it takes you some time to distill and actually understand what is your core value. What is that, let's say, okay, unique challenge that you're trying to help your leads with, the customers with. And it was interesting to see that when I asked our CEO, Joseph Kubowski, to contribute a quote to the report, he operating in actually different circles within our industry than me. We have the intersection, of course, but not so much. So he's an advisor, he's consultant, and I'm the researcher, right? So we have slightly different ways or even fields of looking at things. And so he said practically the same thing. This is the recommendation for technology providers to position themselves more carefully. And instead of claiming to do everything, they need to ask, and I quote Joseph here, what real value does our technology deliver to our users, whether translation buyers and providers? What makes it unique? This is very important now. And as Joseph says, buyers and providers alike need solutions that respect both budget constraints and realities of implementation. And so the real opportunity for vendors is to make adoption simple, cost-effective, and impactful, so that clients feel empowered, not overwhelmed. And while this sounds a little bit like a utopia, still, I very much agree with the underlying, I think, recommendation to think about the customer more and to fine-tune the messaging that you put out online, so that it becomes more clear and more impactful for your users, your potential users, and your company as well. Don't make people try to guess what is it exactly you're delivering. Right. Just be very precise with it, if possible. We would very much appreciate that.
They're delivering solutions. That's what they're delivering. Maximizing value and ROI for our customers. And I'll add to that. I'm no Joseph Kubowski when it comes to this. So he's definitely knows more than me about it. But I do talk to a lot of clients out there. And one thing I would say technology companies should definitely focus on is customer service, customer support, client success, whatever you want to call it, however you want to brand your account management team and your post-sales support, because that's consistently the feedback that I get. And I'm not going to name names of different technology companies because most of them, some of them are doing it well, but most technology companies, when I hear complaints about them, it's a level of support that they're getting. So I'll just add my 2 cents, my unqualified 2 cents to that.
Can I qualify them? I agree with you.
Okay, awesome. Please give me authority. All right, here you're going to hear it from the expert, folks.
Okay. Yeah. So indeed, and we had some companies coming to us at Nimdzi for migration, not TMS that time, but couple of times of translation business management systems migration. Exactly because the promises that were given to them when they selected the previous TBMS provider were not exactly fulfilled. And why is that? Exactly why you just said, Tucker, that the customer satisfaction team did not maybe did not deliver up to expectations of those users. And so they had to try to go and find another solution, which is sad because they already selected that one. But yeah, things happen.
Yeah, and I get it. You know, we're dealing with scarcity here, and not everyone has the budget to have whatever. I'm just saying it's a problem. Let's fix it together. And I'll add to that another self-serving comment. You say, why did they find themselves, these clients, why did they find themselves in their solutions? Because they didn't talk to Yulia first, right? Don't just talk to the salespeople. Talk to an expert. Doesn't have to be Yulia. Doesn't have to be Nimdzi Insights. But talk to someone who's been there before. Go to industry conferences. Talk to your colleagues about their experience working with different technologies. Of course, I'm going to tell you to come spend money with Nimdzi and do a technology strategy. But there's other options out there available for you. Next year, moving into the future, if you had to bet which category could move to the center of the radar in the next 2 years, what do you see growing? I mean, I think I know the answer to this, but where do you see the growth? Where do you see the centralization and consolidation happening in the technology landscape?
I would pretty much bet on the multimedia sphere and all the AI-powered tools that are currently emerging there, or some established tools, because we had this subcategory of a larger category, which is like AI dubbing. We had it for some years, even before in the Nimdzi Language Technology Atlas. And we thought that maybe by now we will see this transition to very like solid market already with the powered dubbing and speech-to-speech translation, especially because that is what the big tech companies want us to believe, that this is all happening, and the social media platforms are also all releasing some form of AI-powered dubbing or voiceover solutions. But the reality is that the technology is there, indeed. We all know very impressive demos by 11 Labs, Vapor Cup, and some others, and all that. But even though the tech is there, it's not yet at the level of not mass production, but mass adoption, I would say. So that is the sector that has been growing, and I expect that will be developing more and more, and we will have more companies adding that already have some form of a dubbing editor, for instance. They will be partnering with other companies, for instance, to provide the neural voices, or they will be plugging in the big tech developments to deliver the all-in-one AI-powered dubbing service. So that sector is definitely growing, and it will continue to do so. And the power of video is increasing because the video has become more accessible over the last years.
It's becoming feasible, right? Like dubbing and voiceover and dubbing, lip syncing, these have been around for decades. I mean, since forever, as a service. The difference now is that they're becoming available as a technology. I almost said solution, as a technology or a technology-enabled service. I'll just say, right. So what it's doing is I wouldn't say it's like increasing the size of the pie piece. It's increasing the whole pie, right? Like it's making it feasible to localize multimedia content that previously wasn't localized before. It's the classic more with less, right? And I've seen some of these solutions too, not as many as you probably, but they're scary good. they're scary good. Up to the point where they can even like edit the video. It's not lip syncing. It's changing the lips in the video to match the speech. It's voice cloning. It's good, and there's some old Nimdzi live episodes with different demos if people want to watch that. If you're listening to that out there, but yeah, interesting. That would be your answer on the multimedia, because frankly, it's the easy answer would be large language models, right?
Well, that's one way of implementing them and
exactly.
And
it's going a level deeper, is what you did with that.
I also answered like that because I wanted to plug in another research that Nimdzi is doing in the AI multimedia sphere, and specifically AI-powered multimedia platforms. So we are working on that, not me. I think Laszlo is working with our resident expert, and we also have a quote from that research in the radar report. So I suppose it's coming up very soon, and I look forward to reading it to maybe even vet my own expectations and the answer that I gave you to the previous question about what will be in the center. So yeah, that's that.
I mean, since you're plugging it, yeah, we have the language technology radar report. It's our flagship. You have access. People can have access to the radar, all of that stuff. But there's so much more. If you're out there, you're listening, and you haven't clicked over to nimdzi.com, maybe you follow us on LinkedIn. Maybe you laugh at our Instagram reels every once in a while. Maybe you talk to us at conferences, but you haven't actually gone to nimdzi.com. Head on over there, check out research, all research. There's different hubs for different whoever you are. You can check out the Nimdzi 100. There's so much good information available out there, and most of it is free. Right? This is a service we provide for the industry publishing this research, which is really cool. So I just wanted to plug. I don't feel like I'm plugging that because it's something that adds value, and if people aren't taking advantage of it, then they should be. So rant over. Sorry. Let's bring this home, Yulia. Let's start wrapping this up here. What do you hope that people are going to take away from this year's edition? Like, if people read the report, they click through the radar, maybe they check out some more Nimdzi Insights research on technology that you've contributed to. What's the one, maybe two or three key takeaways, messages that you hope people walk away with this year?
I will have one, I think.
Okay.
Again, for us to wrap it up quicker, that my expectation is that because this year's report is a little bit different in terms of what we wrote and how we wrote it, there is more reflection rather than just reporting on what's happening. I can only hope that the readers, whoever they are, LSPs, tech providers, buyers of technology or language services, will take away inspiration, but with a glimpse of caution, or not even with a glimpse, with a big portion of caution. Is what I've been seeing with all the latest developments and in all these profiles that we have been creating or checking for language technology companies, is that there needs to be some actual maybe caution when trying to jump on a new technology or on a new implementation of it. And whenever you hear something new and shiny is being developed, maybe take a step back and try to analyze it further with strict approach, and maybe with that our radar can help, because most likely we already saw that new and shiny thing, and we have tried our best to map it and to verify their information and to put them in the catalog alongside other providers of maybe the very same new and shiny thing. And that is my hope, that when reading sections where we go on impacting on the technology market. Like when we discuss what about TMS, or a surge in transcription services, where we discuss the easiness of creation, just another LLM wrapper, and overall the micro-SaaS products. So when reading that, people will get the needed maybe feeling of taking a step back and looking at the market with without this expression about the glasses. I'm wearing the glasses, but they are not pink at all. So without any softness, because this market and implementation of any solution requires a deeper analysis, even much deeper than the one we put online, is this report and associated catalog.
And I will add to that, the way that you take a deeper look at it is reach out to info@nimdzi.com and talk to an expert today. There's my 5th shameless plug I'm sorry, I had to fit that in there. But seriously, talk to people, talk to Yulia, reach out to Nimdzi Insights. Yulia, you mentioned Konstantin Dranch earlier. He's a wealth of information. I will always prop him up in this industry. There's so many experts out there. Reach out to one that works for you. Speaking of experts in our industry, I will also just say that if you're coming to Localization World, come meet us. We have Inga, Laszlo, and the wonderful Julia Greco coming down from Canada to see you guys in Monterey. I think I might be making an appearance myself. We will see, so keep a lookout, and we might see each other at Localization World. Also, if you're around in Prague, we have some upcoming workshops. The LSP Reset workshop has been amazing. Like, I've gotten so much good feedback on this. If you want to understand how to respond to the changes that are happening around you, check out our LSP Research Workshop. We've got one coming up in Prague. There are other ones out there. You don't have to go to Prague. Reach out to us today, and maybe we can schedule one in a neck of the woods near you. So, ladies, gentlemen, chat, we are out of time for today. If you enjoyed this experience of the Nimdzi event series, then join us next time by going to our LinkedIn page, checking out our upcoming events, and signing up so that you are notified next time we go live. I appreciate our guest today, Yulia Akhulkova. I appreciate my colleagues here at Nimdzi Insights doing all the hard work so I can have these interesting conversations. And finally, I appreciate you, the audience, who are joining us live today. And I look forward to next time. Cheers.